Behind every person, behind every company, behind everything, there's a story of how it got there. And the most relevant stories connect on a personal level. I'm Beth Comstock. I lead marketing and innovation at GE. People have a lot of choices, especially now. We're all bombarded with options of where to place our time. And I think in the world we're inhabiting, a world where it's more machines talking, people talking, connected via social media, the ability to simplify is very important. If you're a company or you're corporate storytelling, how are you memorable when you have very complicated things you have to talk about? I find often in business, we only want a logical, mathematical, financial dealing. And the reality is you have to be about a story to connect to a person, to connect to a customer, to connect to a product. I think increasingly we want to know where our fabric came from. We want to know where the materials in our watch came from, in our jet engine. We want to understand what happened to get us to where we are. You can't sell something until you've entered someone's mind. We talk about market share, but it's really about getting mind share, getting inside people's minds and creating a story for what's possible. So I think if you begin with the premise that your company can be a storyteller, you find storytellers everywhere. I find some of our best storytellers are engineers. What you need to create is kind of a central group that's good at translating, that know how to elicit a passion in someone to get them to tell their story. You are almost afraid to look at what you have, and so for us it was a big awakening, I think, just to say, you know what, we're geeky. We love it. The kind of things we make, they're badass, they're big, they're amazing works of mankind and science. You know, when you kind of embrace who you are and find an elegance and a beauty in it, it's amazing where it takes you. Recently, we had great success with a series of stories we did that was a bit imaginative, and we said, what would a child think about if they looked at GE? And it was that way of reminding all of us, remember when you're a child and you just had this amazing magic of looking at things, your imagination went wild. And so you'd see a plane in flight, or you would see a train, and you start to think of this sort of imaginative way. So I think sometimes in storytelling you have to take people to another place. You have to connect. Remember when you were a child. When you're a storyteller, you want to connect, but you have a message you want to convey. It is a bit of an art of why is this relevant? It might be easy to say, hey, you should know about this jet engine because it's really good. Or you could say, hey, this jet engine, we're working to make it 90% lighter in terms of materials than ever before in history. Why should you care? Because it takes emissions out of the air. And perhaps you care about a cleaner world. The return on storytelling is, did you make a connection? Are people finding value in it enough to share it? Of course, in business, there's some return, on investment from a financial perspective, but I'm a big believer if you plant enough seeds, if you've made yourself open enough, if people understand and relate to your story, the commerce will follow. People don't want to be sold. They want to be inspired. And you have to really fight for that, I believe, above what's important for the company is what's important to connect on the human level.